Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Nika, aka Astrologyslore. I will be reviewing a new tarot deck here. We're doing an unboxing on the gorgeous Trueblack Tarot. Now, any and all information you need is going to be found in the description box. And I do want to start this reading by thanking the beautiful goddess that actually gifted me this tarot deck. And her name is Javon. Now, Javon has a platform on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. So I'm going to link all of her information below. She's a very talented astrologist, tarot reader. She does synastry. She does birth charts. I mean, she's just phenomenal. I love her work. And I'm very, very grateful to her for this tarot deck. So yes, I will be linking all of her socials below. Make sure you subscribe to her. Her name on all social media platforms is Energy Vibes. Some cases energy.vibes, but it will be below. So yes, this tarot deck, I'm so excited. Guys, this is the most beautiful tarot deck that I've ever been gifted. It is so gorgeous and regal, and it's the detail for me. Do you see this box here? Now, if you've seen my unboxings before, you know how I am about the packaging. I am, girl, like, I am just crazy about packaging here. And some of you may not be a girl, so I apologize. But you know what I mean. I'm crazy about the packaging. So we're going to open this here. Now, when you do, there is a note, and it says, I know nothing with any certainty, but the sight of stars makes me dream. Oh, it's so beautiful. I feel like the theme of this deck was celestial, and there's a lot of stars involved. Now, you can actually purchase this deck at trueblacktarot.com. I will be linking that website below as well. And I do want to let you know that this particular tarot deck, it does retail for, I want to say $85 or $86. Okay, so it is considered a luxury tarot deck, but it's very, very beautiful here. So when you open it, it's gorgeous. Of course, there's a guidebook. And I do also want to note that there are 79 cards in this tarot deck instead of the standard 78. And the reason why is because there is an extra card, which I'm going to try to find. This card, there's a little bit of history with it. So if I come across it during this video, I will point it out. But basically the card, it's spelled A-N-N-U-S, and I want to say that could be Latin. I think it's Anus, but it basically represents eternity. So that card was actually found in the very middle of the tarot deck. It was basically dividing the major and minor arcana, and it had a baby on it. So if I come across that card again during this video, I will show it off. But the imagery in this deck is just gorgeous. I mean, look at the details. And in some of these cards, there's actually languages. There's writing here. So, you know, I'm a huge researcher. Before we dive in, I do want to go ahead and read maybe a page or two from the guidebook. So it says, Introduction. Divination has existed for as long as humankind has wondered. From tea leaves to human intestines to the shape of smoke, humans have looked to countless sources for insight and advice. Distinct among the numerous methods is tarot, itself among the most crafted and designed of the divination practices. Created solely by human hands, it mirrors the inner thoughts and queries of the species that had birthed it. These decks embody the topics most core to the human experience, including love, death, and the wonder of the unknown. These shared experiences persist throughout time and geographic location, while each culture and era develop distinct incarnations of these themes. Their central core remains consistent and linked throughout. This deck touches upon these various mythologies, sciences, and cultures, tying them together underneath the same starry sky that humankind has shared since its genesis. So what I really love about this introduction is that there's kind of like an ode to divination, and there's an ode to tarot in general, because we know, as this particular introduction brought out, that there's different forms of divination practices, and tarot is one of many. So of course, they are breaking down major arcana first. So I was looking because, you know, in these unboxings, I do like to shout out the illustrators. I like to shout out the owners of the tarot deck. So I was looking for that. And if I happen to find any names, I definitely will be shouting those people out. So it looks like here what we have, it says additional artwork. A plot of the Lorenz attractor is shown. Named for Edward Lorenz, a pioneer of chaos theory and origin of the theme butterfly effect, the images traces a path, that circles one side and can randomly switch to the other. So I thought maybe this was going to be shouting out the illustrator. But actually what this talks about, it gives background on each card and the additional artwork as well as the theme for everything, the theme for that particular card here. So I think that is so dope and so amazing. So it doesn't give me any particular names here, but if you want to check out the website, you definitely can. Now I am going to go ahead and dive in and show you guys some of these cards. Now I want to let you guys know my little kitties are in here. My little girls, Phil and Lil, are both in here. So you may hear some little bells rattling around. You may hear some meows, okay, because they're sitting at my feet. But what I really love about this tarot deck, first of all, I love the quality, okay, because this is considered a luxury tarot deck. Do you see how thick these cards are? Okay, very thick, very high quality. They have sort of this material. It feels so good to the skin, okay, and it's almost like a glossy like texture. This is very, very beautiful here. Yeah, so this is thicker than the average tarot card deck that you may come across. Now, some of these cards, and of course this is a strength card represented by Leo energy. We have gold trim in this card. Some of these have gold and some of these have, you know, silver, red. It just depends on what we come across. Of course, we have the 9 of Pentacles. Is this particular tarot deck beginner friendly? I don't know. Okay. I do think that for the most part, when I was reading through the definitions and terminology, that it's very similar to what's taught to beginners. So I want to say yes, but I would recommend that if you're new to tarot, I recommend getting this a little further along your tarot journey. And the only reason I recommend that is because there's an extra card in here that dives in a little bit deeper, and some of these cards you have to sort of study in order to know what they are. So for example, we know that major arcana in most tarot decks they tell us what it is at the bottom with the Tower card. But see, if you're not a beginner and you're seeing this for the first time, you may not necessarily know that this is a 3 of Cups energy. So that's what I mean when I say, you know, get familiar with the art of tarot first before purchasing a luxury tarot deck. So I wouldn't necessarily say that it's a beginner, but I would say it's gorgeous, okay? And it's definitely worth adding to your collection if you are a seasoned tarot reader. So the Queen of Wands energy is very beautiful here. You see the orange, the gold-plated energy there. Some of these I did actually have a hard time identifying, and I had to go through the guidebook to actually see what they were. But most of the imagery, I was able to use context clues. Like, for example, I know this is a 9 of Swords because we can count the swords. I know that this is the 10 of Pentacles because look at what we have. We have coins. And the elephant does represent prosperity and abundance. This was an interesting one too. This is actually the Ace of Wands. Yeah, very interesting. I had a hard time identifying that one. But I noticed that with these energies, you can't always use context clues to identify what it is, but it's so beautiful. Look at this one. This is the 9 of Cups. Isn't that gorgeous? Now, this is the card, the extra card that I was telling you guys about that says I'm not on it. Let me zoom in on that imagery. Do you see that? That is so beautiful. Let me see if I can find the definition or the terminology. But oh, it went right to it. Okay. That's interesting. It just popped right open for me. Thank you. Okay, so It says Anat refers to the never-ending, eternal, and exempt. While other temporal beings enter existence, grow, and then die, Anat exists outside of these constraints and rules. It has been and always will be a core concept shared by other world religions. Laying in the center of this card is a fetus, the intermediary between the ending and beginning of the major arcana, which I said earlier, representing the cyclical nature of society, of eternity. Look, not me trying to read and getting tongue-tied. I have a hard time pronouncing that word. Cyclical nature of eternity is what I think it says. Around it coils the snake known in Sanskrit texts as Anat Shisha, usually depicted with 5, 7, or 1,000 heads. Shisha, a term used to identify remainder in mathematics, is that which exists when all else ceases. In Hinduism, Shisha was also given the task of supporting the world atop himself, which he does until this day. When the end of the universe draws near, Anat will manifest 11 Rudras, or storm gods, to bring about the end of the universe so that a new one may take its place. This is gorgeous. And then it gives additional insight on the artwork. So again, guys, very beautiful tarot deck here. I strongly recommend, if you are in your journey with tarot, that you get this tarot deck. We got the 8 of Swords energy. We got the 10 of Cups energy here. The 9 of Wands. The Knight of Swords. Yeah, check this out. Got some major arcana with the Chariot. So you see how beautiful this is. I thought the 7 of Wands was really interesting. Gorgeous. Yes, with the 7 of Cups. This is like a fantasy world. This is one of my favorite cards in the deck. But yes, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. If you made it to this part of the video, I'm sending love to all of you. And again, check out this deck. Purchase your Trueblack Tarot at trueblacktarot.com. And shout out again to the beautiful goddess Jovi, aka Energy Vibes, for gifting me this tarot deck. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.